Try to join us. Try to join us. We can almost hear you, almost.
Olam chesed yibaneh. We will build a world of chesed. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. 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 I will build this world from love. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. You will build this world from love. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. And if we build this world from love, yalalai, 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 then God will build this world from love. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Olam chesed yibaneh. Yalalai, yalalai, yalalai. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Really need your presence. It's so beautiful to have the sanctuary so full. As you've noticed, there's a beautiful voice who's not here. Cantor Vlad is...
Or two.
Or two.
Maybe he's calling.
Cantor Vlad is doing
His
an installation of a new rabbi at Barnard Synagogue where he served for 9 years. So I know it's hard for him not to be here, but he also is being there for another community.
Don't
and
let
our
them
wonderful
know, but he told us he would so much prefer to be here. This is our secret. Don't. This is confidential space, right?
And Rabbi Mulbaum is,
That's all right.
except for the live stream, and Rabbi Mulbaum is with our families for K through 3 Shabbat for FaceTime. So that's wonderful. So I was thinking, preparing, what am I going to say to open the service, and I was remembering 30 years ago when I went to study in Moscow for a semester, when it really was like going into a black and white movie. I had to take all the names of the Jews that I wanted to reach out to that I got from Action for Soviet Jewry, and they were all in code, all put in different parts of the dictionary that I had. And, the Siddur that I had was contraband. I mean, that was the most, risky thing to have in your suitcase. They had a few little bits of cinnamon. They wouldn't know I was going to use those for Havdalah. It's always a risky thing to be a Jew. It's always a risky thing to be a person of faith, a human being that dares to hope and to connect and to be vulnerable. And there's sometimes, maybe when we're on a plane to Moscow, I remember when I made the call, I had rehearsed it in Russian, and the Russian was pretty bad, and I started into my speech about who I was, and then the person just said on the other end of the line, "Shalom." So we say shalom. We're so thankful for those who have come, who maybe don't always come, who are maybe coming from other communities to be here tonight. But we say shalom. And we say tonight that in the face of it all, in the face of darkness, we kindle light. In the face of fear, we dare to show up. In the face of just going on the phone and just looking for more news, we say, no, I'm going to put down the phone. I'm actually going to be with people. I'm going to be with community tonight. And so we are actually going to, besides asking someone to go and tell Nancy to turn on the air conditioning, if someone maybe,
I think they know.
Thank you very much. Besides doing that, we're going to do the candles a little differently. It's actually beautiful. They've already been lit once for the first family service that was here, but Mayor and I will light the candles, but we want to make kind of like a bridge of light tonight. And so maybe I'll stand here and I'll light the way I do at home, and he'll have his hand on my shoulder. And then whoever's closest to him will put their hand on his shoulder. And we're going to invite everyone to stand up and have your hand on the shoulder of someone in front of you
Everyone
if you're
rise.
able to stand.
Everyone rise, please.
And we're just connecting forward to this bridge of light that's going on here tonight.
Okay.
Laughter, that's good, that's good, that's good. Okay.
Can you?
All right, we got to connect to the candles. Okay, here we go. The lighting is happening. There's no more AC, so everyone, we have to make do.
I can open the windows.
Please join me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'etzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat shalom.
Be careful. So as we take our seats and open the windows, actually, Phil, you want to open the window, or Bob, open the windows over there? Bob, maybe, great. Thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, good, Shai, you already got yours. I want to share a thought before we really move into our evening. You know, Walter Cronkite used to say at the end of his nightly newscast, what did he say? And that's the way it is. Does everyone know in this room that a new closing line happened tonight? It happened to be on CNN. Jake Tapper. You know how he closed the news tonight? I mean, this is hearsay, but I think it's reliable. Exactly. Joanne or oh, right, exactly. Scott, is Scott here? I thought he was going to be here. Right. So Jake Tapper closed his segment tonight by wishing America Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, exactly. Exactly. No, Shabbat Shalom. America has now been greeted with the beauty and the joy, the it's an incredible moment, unbelievable moment in Jewish human history, or presence, or future. So I want to do two things right now connected to Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom is supposed to happen in the synagogue, of course, and it's supposed to happen in our homes. And I want to connect at the end of our evening, in an hour or whatever, to this moment. In about an hour, we're going to read the names of the 11 people who were murdered and died in Pittsburgh. And Rose Mallinger, 97 years old. She's the oldest victim. And she was laid to rest today. And her family said she did everything she wanted to do in her life. This is a quote from something they said. She did everything she wanted to do in her life. I think it relates to Shabbat. It relates to life, of course. But it relates to Shabbat too. Because Shabbat is the statement, I've done everything that I wanted to do this week, knowing that there's about 5 or 10 or 510,000 things that we still might do. But even though there are 500,000 things we might do, right now, I feel whole. I've done everything I've wanted to do in this let's change life to this week. And I want to connect that to one last thought, which is that we're gathered here now in a synagogue, our beloved Temple Beth-El. We're gathered in a synagogue. And I think that it answers a question, every synagogue, the institution, the wisdom, the brilliance of synagogue answers the question, like, where can we gather? What institution out there has as its mission to be a place where we can come and gather and express our fears and our pain and our heartache and our grief, and also help us through being together feel our sense of possibility and hope and possibility and faith and purpose, sense of mission. The synagogue is the place. And so, with that, I'd like us to turn to the reading on page 6.
I think this reading has always struck me as a very beautiful one, but the focus on the door to the synagogue and who enters feels very poignant this evening. Let's do this responsively. Mayor and I will begin. May the door of this synagogue be wide enough to receive all who hunger for love, all who are lonely for friendship. Your turn. May the door of this synagogue be narrow enough to shut out pettiness and pride, envy and enmity and violence. May it be too high to admit complacency, selfishness, and harshness. May this synagogue be for all who enter the doorway to a richer and more meaningful life. We continue with Yedid Nefesh on page 10, in the middle of the page. Yedid Nefesh av harachaman, Yedid Nefesh av harachaman, Meshoch avdecha, ya la 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 la. Eretz onecha, Meshoch avdecha, ya la 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 la, Eretz onecha, Yarutz לכו נרננה, יא לה 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 לה, אדוני לצור ישענו. Again, לכו נרננה, לאדוני נריע, לצור ישענו. קדמה לפניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. לכו נרננה, יא לה 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 לה, נריע לצור ישענו. Lecha Dodi begins on page 20, thinking about welcoming in a spirit of peace and joy and wholeness and hope. Page 20. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diburecha, ishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad. L'shem u'tiferet v'litila, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila, lecha dodi likrat kala. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 5. Hitoreri, hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori, Uri, Uri, shir daberi. Kevod Adonai anaych nigla, lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Verse 9, if it's your custom to rise, please do so and face the door. Bohi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula. Bohi chala,
דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. הללויה, 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 הללויה. So we invite now, before Shalom Aleichem, when we greet our Shabbat angels, to take a moment to say a really robust, loving, hopeful Shabbat Shalom to those around you. Even getting up if you want. Say hi to someone you don't know.
You can be bold.
Shabbat Shalom to all of you on live stream.
You can be
Shabbat
bold
Shalom.
and cross the aisle.
So we, this week have gotten so many incredible messages and texts. And as part of the Shalom Aleichem, the greeting of angels moment, we'll offer just a few of them. The first are words from Adam of Great Neck Caterers. We all know him, right? Amazing history. He grew up in, I think it was Morocco, with Jews as a Muslim, and sent this beautiful message.
Sadly, I was out of the country when I heard what happened in Pittsburgh. Maybe this message is not going to reach the people who got hurt there and their families. But I wanted to let you know, as a Muslim, I stand with you and protect you with whatever I can. This world is not meant to be for hate or separations. We are here to stand up for each other and support each other. You guys have all my support and love. Adam.
And from Bertha at St. Al's, she'll be here with us. Actually, both Adam and Bertha will be coming next Friday night. Dear brothers and sisters of Temple Beth-El, I'm devastated after the tragic incident, praying for all those affected by this tragedy, and especially for all of you, my brothers and sisters of Jewish faith. I offer my prayers for you. Big hug, Bertha. And then, of course, from our Charleston friends.
Tara and Mayor. I intended to email or text last night, but I've been in a dark place since Saturday's news. I've prayed for you and all synagogues because, unfortunately, I understand all too well how you feel at this time. Carlin, Jamila, Lillian, and I attended the prayer vigil that was held in Charleston last night. It was an uplifting event, and I kept thinking about Temple Beth-El and how inspirational your involvement with my family is and will always be for the rest of my life.
I want you to know that I'm writing the afterwords for a book, and I have to include you and your synagogue as an integral part of my healing process. Thank you for your gracious invitations and outpouring of love. You are family. Blondell. So in that spirit of outreach that's brought so many of you here and that may only continue, let's invite in our Shabbat angels, knowing that so many of them are among us, with us tonight. 24. Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharem, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech, Malachei Amlachim, Makadosh Baruch Hu.
לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ברכוני לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. צאתכם לשלום, מלאכי השלום, מלאכי העליון. מי מלך מלאכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
I now call up Sharon Epstein and Beth-El Schulman to offer us a poem by Naomi Levy.
We are devastated, God. Our hearts are breaking in this time of shock and mourning.
The loss is overwhelming. Send comfort and strength, God, to grieving family members.
Send healing to the injured. Send strength and wisdom to their doctors and nurses. Bless the courageous police officers who risked their lives to protect innocent lives.
Shield us from despair, God. Ease our pain. Let our fears give way to hope. Lead us to join together as a nation to put an end to anti-Semitism, an end to hatred, an end to gun violence.
Teach us, God, to honor the souls we have lost by raising our hands and voices together in the cause of peace, because Torah is a tree of life and all its paths are peaceful.
Work through us, God. Turn our helplessness into action. Teach us to believe that we can rise up from this tragedy and banish the hate that is tearing our world apart. We must never be indifferent to the plight of any who suffer. We must learn to care, to open our hearts and open our hands. Innocent blood is calling out to us.
God of the brokenhearted, God of the living, God of the dead, gather the souls of the victims into your eternal shelter. Let them find peace in your presence, God.
Their lives have ended, but their lights can never be extinguished. May they shine on us always and illuminate our way. Amen.
We rise for Baruch Hu. It's on page 28.
Yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai, yalla lai lai lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam va'ed, le'olam va'ed. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai.
31 in the middle. This is an hour of change, oh, we pray. Within it, we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly in the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, ma'ariv aravim, page 32.
Avat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, Hukim u'mishpatim, Otanu limadeta. Haken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachmeinu, Kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu, ve'orech yameinu, uvahem nege yomam balayla, nege yomam balayla. Be'avatecha, al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated.
36, V'ahavta.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha, v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'v'lechtecha b'derech u'v'shochbecha u'v'kumecha u'kshartam lehot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha, leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'yitem kedoshim le'elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
Now call up Sarah Kane and Phil Ross to offer a poem about a name. About a name.
A poem by Zev dedicated to the baby who was to be named at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh last Shabbat morning.
Little boy, what's your name? Do you have one? Sweet baby, just 8 days, what shall we call you?
I have heard the sacred circumcision postponed for jaundiced yellow, but never before for bloodshed red.
Is your name Shalom? We long for peace in this troubled world. I hope you are Shalom.
Is your name Nachum? Oh, how we need to be comforted in our grief. I hope you are Nachum.
Is your name Raphael? Our broken hearts and bleeding souls need healing. I hope you are Raphael.
You should have been carried high into the congregation on Shabbat morning, passed from loving hands to loving hands, on a cushioned pillow to receive your Jewish name. Instead, your elders fell and were carried out on stretchers in plastic bags, their names on tags.
Is your name Moshe? Our unbearable anguish and rage demands justice. I hope you are Moshe.
Is your name Ariel? We need the ferocious strength of lions to protect our people. I hope you are Ariel.
The blood on Shabbat morning was supposed to be covenantal, not sacrilegious, sacramental, not sacrificial, sacred, not unholy. The tears were supposed to be of boundless joy, not boundless sorrow.
The cries were supposed to be Mazel Tov, not the mourner's Kaddish.
Is your name Simcha? We need an end to sadness by bringing joy into our world. I hope you are Simcha.
Is your name Yaron? We need an end to mourning by bringing song into our lives. I hope you are Yaron.
Is your name Matan? We need the gift of children who will bring a better tomorrow. I hope you are Matan.
So, little boy, what's your name? Take them all, if you will. Take 1,000 names.
Be peace and comfort and healing. Be justice and strength and courage.
Be joy and song and a gift to the world.
Be every good name and every good thing.
And, sweet baby, take one more name if you will, because I hope you will be blessed with a long, blissful, beautiful, and meaningful life. I hope you are Chaim.
So we had rehearsed that we were going to do Micha Mocha now. It's uplifting. I don't feel like I can sing Micha Mocha. But I want us to say the words. Micha Mocha means, who are you? Who are you, God? And it is our song of possibility and of opening seas and of Nachshon, who jumped in, even though all the facts indicated that the sea wouldn't open. And I'm thinking about the book I read before I went to Moscow those 30 years ago. It was Natan Sharansky's Fear No Evil. That is the Micha Mocha. Let's read the Hebrew together, or the transliteration, on page 40. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar bakodesh. Nora tehilot ose fele. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha. Bokea yam lifnei Moshe uMiriam. Ze Eli. Anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, ve'ne'emar ki fadar Adonai et Yaakov, uga'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch ata Adonai, ga'al
Yisrael.
Hashkivenu is on page 42, our song of protection.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu shomreinu shomreinu lechayim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu shomreinu shomreinu lechayim ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Vehamidenu shomreinu shomreinu lechayim.
I now call up Aidan Levine and Liza Freeland.
Liza, come on.
So Aidan will be offering the words of another dear friend from Charleston, Marjorie Copeland.
Just checking on you and Rabbi Mayer. Our prayers are with you at this time. Pittsburgh brings back horrific memories and the sadness of unwanted losses. Our work to eradicate hatred and racism continues. If we don't deal with each situation, regardless of who is victimized, we have to start the process over each time. There is dread and connectedness in all of this that we are not dealing with. Let's keep each other in prayer, thought, and even more communication. Be safe. Love, Marjorie.
And an adaptation of a poem by Michael Strassfeld, Rabbi Strassfeld.
In the face of the encroaching darkness, let us gather and hold hands proclaiming our humanity. Long ago, we ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But there was also another tree in the Garden of Eden, the tree of life. Each week we grasp that Eitz Haim as we return to the Torah scroll to the ark. And we will continue to hold fast to that tree of life, continue to choose life over death, caring over callousness, meaning over meanness. When we sing Haktikva, we utter the words, Od lo avda tikvatenu. Our hope has not been lost, and it is not. Soon it will be time to get up from Shiva, time to stand up and cry out. We will organize, we will help, we will march, we will reach out, we will lobby, we will have compassion, and we will vote. For even if the Messiah tarries, we still believe. Tzedek, tzedek, tirdaf. Justice, justice, you shall surely pursue.
We rise now for the Amidah. Page 46.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotzeinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot, U'mevii Gula Livnei B'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Makein, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham, Be'ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav v'Choshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hagashem, Mechalkel chayim b'chesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofech holim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato lishenei ha'afar, Michamocha b'gevurot, U'midam melach, Melech menit u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman atah lahachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukdoshim, Ukdoshim, Bechol yom yehallelucha Selah, Baruch atah Adonai, Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take a few moments for our own private, personal prayer, standing or seated, whatever is your custom or your comfort. And we'll come together in a few moments, the words of your heart or the meditations written in the prayer book.
Ose shalom bimroma, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru
Page 62 in the middle.
Amen. Ve'imru Amen. Ose shalom bimromav Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru Amen. Ve'imru
The sounds of silence.
Amen.
So we take a moment now for our Mishaberach prayer. As we come through it can be found on page 253. As Mayor and I walk through the aisles, if you'd like to mention the name of anyone in need of healing of any kind, please do so. .253.
Mishaberach Avoteinu Mekor Abracha Le'imotenu. May the source refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So, our sermon has really been this whole experience, but we will offer a few reflections at this moment. On a very personal level, I was proud of my mother this week. She's been involved in creating a liberal Chevra Kadisha in Boston, helping people to bring some traditions of how to deal with death into their homes and lives. And she flew down to Pittsburgh, and it seems I kept texting her saying, "Are you home yet?" And she kept saying, "No, there was another funeral." And so she went down to try to help. And I said, "Well, Mom, maybe you could give me a paragraph or something I could share with my community what that experience was like." And at 7 a.m. I got a text. It said, "Just landed, no words." And I think, there's a very famous expression, Vayidom Aharon, when Aaron learned of the death of his sons, he was silent. And in these moments, there is a great silence that comes over us. So Mayor will speak a little on that theme in terms of the reflections of Rabbi Jonah Pesner and more.
As Tara shares this thought about, or this, text message from her mom, there are no words. It strikes me that, we live in this truth, two truths. One, there's no words. We know that the truth of that. And at the same time, the Talmud says that in Masechet Megillah, page 15, that when you teach something in the name of someone else, you bring redemption to the world. In other words, it's not my idea. I don't deserve any credit. I'm just trying to be a sacred vessel through which wisdom and love and goodness flows. So that's the role that I'm serving here, and I feel proud and privileged to serve it. I'm going to do it by sharing two separate, very brief messages. One from Rabbi Jonah Pesner, as Tara just said, Jonah Dove Pesner, who is the head of the Religious Action Center of the Reform Movement. He and Rick Jacobs, I would say, are the two leaders of the Reform Movement. And so I want to first share some words from Jonah Pesner. This is not the entire piece that Jonah wrote, but it's very worthy. Standing outside of Tree of Life Synagogue in Squirrel Hill, a normally busy neighborhood of Pittsburgh, it was eerily quiet. Overcast and cold, blocked by a police barricade. The only movement came from law enforcement and TV crews in the unnerving stillness. It was Sunday morning. There should have been parents dropping off their children for Sunday school, people out walking, dogs on leashes, bikes on the road. Instead, it was just silent, he wrote. There are no easy words of comfort in times like these. When I sat down to write this reflection, I thought back over my time in Pittsburgh this weekend, and I thought back to a question I heard from a student at the University of Pittsburgh, Hillel. Faced with the daunting task of processing Saturday's violence, the student asked me, "After Parkland, has nothing changed?" This question broke my heart. Then I realized something has changed. We have changed. Our people are grappling with the reality that, though anti-Semitism has always existed, this act of violence, gunning down Jews in a house of worship, is unprecedented in the United States. So, to this student and to the entire Reform movement, I say, something has changed. Our resolve already so strong, has hardened even further. We are stronger than ever, and together we will overcome this. Together we will overcome this. Rabbi Pesner concludes. Amen. I wasn't really, you're right, it deserves an amen, but I was together. Okay, you get it. I want to offer one other reading. This is by Dr. Ari Berman, the president of Yeshiva University. It's very intentional on my part to choose the head of the Reform movement and a head of the Reform movement and a head of Yeshiva University, a leading Orthodox institution. Dr. Ari Berman, he wrote this. We were all stunned and grieved when we heard the news yesterday. We stand tonight in mourning over the loss of our brothers and sisters in Pittsburgh, and we join in prayer for the full recovery of those in the congregation who are injured. The rabbis teach us that the Jewish people are like one body, and when one side is cut, we are all in pain. I just want to repeat that. The rabbis teach us that the Jewish people are like one body, and when one side is cut, we are all in pain. Dr. Berman continues, this heinous, murderous attack on the Tree of Life Synagogue is a reminder that even in this day and age, anti-Semitism still has the power to poison minds. It is a reminder that we do not have the luxury of ignoring this most ancient of hatreds. We must fight it wherever we find it. We must be vigilant. But as we remember our brothers and sisters who were attacked, we also think of the 4 police officers who were wounded rushing in to save them, and we pray for their speedy recovery. They remind us that this era is different than those that have come before. Today, we have partners and friends. At this time, it is natural to focus on the challenges confronting America, and there are challenges, and we must be alert and determined in fighting those who rise against us. But we must also be mindful of the blessing that is America, that we have partners like our officials and representatives who are with us tonight. And together we must battle not just the evils of anti-Semitism, but all racism and bigotry as they rear their ugly heads in this generation. Dr. Berman, last couple sentences. And this, in truth, speaks to the broader mission of the Jewish people, to partner with all of humanity, to impact our society and to better our world. This is an era in which the Jewish mission can truly take root. Let us seize this profound moment of grief to redouble our efforts and join together in our fight against hatred, rebuilding our communities and transforming the world for the better. May God bless our efforts, heal the injured, and grant comfort to the bereaved. And let us say again, Amen.
This week's Parsha is Chayei Sarah, the life of Sarah. But it begins with her death, an enumeration of her years. And there's this incredible image that the Midrash offers of Sarah's tent, so full of light and warm challah and open doors and even God's presence hovering above. When she leaves the tent, the light goes out. But this very week, then, Rebecca comes into the tent, and the light comes on again, and the challah is warm again, and God's presence is renewed. And so this very parsha takes us on a journey from death back into life, from a place of brokenness to a place of affirmation. So with that in mind, I invite you to find, I think there was enough, there's a sheet you came in with, a prayer for our nation. If you need one, maybe you can raise your hand and someone can pass one back. Before we rise to offer the prayer, I'll just have you note that on the back, there's a blessing that I hope you'll be dorky enough to take with you when you vote. Do it quietly in your car. No one will see. This is a sacred act. And also some resources for taking action. God knows there's a million, but a few are there listed. Okay, let's everybody rise with Nachshon here in the front. And we'll offer the prayer responsively. Why don't you begin? 1, 2, 3. Achad, shtayim, shalosh. God of freedom, we hear your charge. Proclaim liberty throughout the land. Let every citizen take responsibility for the rights and freedoms we cherish. And let us champion the values that make our nation a haven for the persecuted, those who get their margins wrong, and a beacon of hope among the nations. May our leaders and officials embody the vision of our founders. We pray for courage and conscience as we aim to support our country's highest values and aspirations. We pray for all who serve our country with selfless devotion. We are grateful for the rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness that our founders ascribed to you, our Creator. We pray for the wisdom and moral strength that we may be guardians of these rights for ourselves and for the sake of all people, now and forever. We remain standing for Aleinu on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא
287
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
seated. Except for our dear presidents, before offering Kaddish, Ron is going to share the names and some thoughts with us. Thank you so much.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
So 11 worshipers, 11 beautiful souls taken from us, taken from our broader community just 1 week ago in Pittsburgh. Quote, "Words escape me of what you can say," said Rabbi Jeffrey Myers, who was officiating a service when a gunman started shooting. They were all beautiful, wonderful, good, decent people. Hate was not in their vocabulary. We remember these 11. Rose Mallinger, 97, was the oldest of the victims, but age was just truly a number.
the Mallinger family said in the statement. She retained her sharp wit, humor, and intelligence until the very last day. No matter what the obstacles she faced, she never complained. She did everything she wanted to do in her life. Rose Mallinger was a pillar of the Jewish community and the Tree of Life Synagogue, which she was a part of for over 6 decades. The synagogue was the center of her very active life. Rose was Bubby to everyone in our family and our beloved community, the rabbi said. She loved us, and she knew us better than we knew ourselves. Dr. Jerry Rabinowitz, 66, was killed when he ran outside to try to help the wounded. In addition to being the president of the congregation, he was a doctor, a healer. When he heard shots, he ran outside to try to see if anyone was hurt and needed a doctor. His laughter and huge smile put everyone he came in contact with at ease. A dedicated and compassionate doctor, he was there during the most terrifying and frightening times in his patients' lives. Jerry was, above all, one of the kindest physicians and human beings in our community. Those of us who worked with him respected and admired his devotion to his work and his faith. His loss is devastating, said his colleagues. Brothers Cecil Rosenthal, 59, and David Rosenthal, 54, never missed a service and were always at the synagogue because it was the place that they felt most safe, said fellow congregant Scott Levin. Both brothers, developmentally disabled, were always together. Their bond was deep. Cecil and David had a love for life and for those around them. Cecil's laugh was infectious, and David was so kind and had such a gentle spirit. This according to Chris Scoff, who is the president of the Yeshiva residential support community where they lived. Together, they looked out for one another. They were inseparable, and most of all, they were kind, good people with a strong faith and respect for everyone. Daniel Stein, 71 years of age, was a simple man who loved going to the synagogue and playing with his grandson. Yesterday was the worst day of my life, Joel Stein, his son, wrote. My mom, sister, and I are absolutely devastated. We are crushed. Our lives now are going to have to take a very different path, one that we thought would not happen for a very long time. Incredibly active in the synagogue community, he was a mentor, provided services to the elderly in the community, and also had served as president of his congregation. Richard Gottfried, 65 years of age, was a successful dentist, and he had reconnected with his faith following his father's passing, and at one point served as president as well of the 70-member congregation in Pittsburgh. He is survived by his wife, Peg, who is also a dentist. The couple had worked together at the Squirrel Hill Medical Center's dental clinic, where they treated refugees and immigrants, many of whom had never been to a dentist. Do not let his death be in vain. Drive out evil from your own life and help another to drive it out of their life. The only way to combat evil is with love, said his wife. Joyce Feinberg, 75, a former research specialist, is survived by her 2 sons and grandchildren. Her husband was internationally acclaimed statistician Stephen Feinberg, who died 2 years ago in 2016. Joyce Feinberg was a research specialist at the University of Pittsburgh's Learning, Research, and Development Center from 1983 until she retired in 2008. My mother-in-law was a one-of-a-kind human being, daughter-in-law Marnie Feinberg told reporters. If you knew her for 5 minutes or if you knew her for 20 years, you felt exactly the same way. Her most important relationships were the ones she had with her 6 grandchildren, who ranged in age from 8 to 15. She made a point of mastering social media very early so she could stay in touch with these kids. Each one of them had a one-on-one relationship with her. She knew what was going on in their days, and she was so involved. She really was an amazing, amazing grandmother. Melvin Wax, 88 years old, was a retired accountant. He was a fixture of the congregation, known for being one of the very few people who always showed up to services early. Maybe that's Melvin calling. If somebody didn't come that was supposed to lead services, Melvin would take over, and he could lead the services and do everything himself. He knew how to do just about everything, said fellow congregants. He was simply just the warmest, sweetest guy. Sylvan Simon, 86, and his wife Bernice Simon, 84, were killed in the very same synagogue that they were married in December of 1956. That just really gets me. A loving couple, they were always together. They held hands, and they always smiled. And he would open the door for her. Chivalry was not dead, according to neighbor Heather Graham. They were really generous and wonderful people to everybody. The couple's front door had 3 stickers, according to neighbors. Support our troops, God bless America, and America the Beautiful. Irving Younger, 69, a father and a grandfather, was a regular volunteer and worshiper at the synagogue, where he would come early and stay late. A former small business owner and youth baseball coach, he was the most wonderful dad and grandpa. Neighbor Tina Prisner notes. He talked about his daughter and grandson nonstop, and he never had an unkind word to say about anyone. Tiny glimpses into the lives of strangers. But they really aren't strangers at all. We know them. We know these people. Through these small windows, we see ourselves. A business owner, a physician, an accountant, a husband, a wife, siblings, a parent, a grandparent, a baseball coach, a synagogue president. They are us. The heinous attack on Tree of Life was an attack on the entire Jewish community. The scourge of anti-Semitism, as Rabbi Meir said, is as old as we are as a people. And as it once again rears its ugly head, we must stand united. At the community gathering this past Wednesday evening, congregants from over 19 Great Neck synagogues came together in remembrance. The differences in our communities are obvious. But Rabbi Ismach of Young Israel of Great Neck summed it up so eloquently. Our enemies in the world make no distinction among us. They don't see Orthodox or conservative or Reform. They don't see Ashkenazim or Sephardim. To them, we are one. Why then should we see ourselves as anything less? And to that, I could not agree more. For these 11 beautiful souls, may their memory and their lives be for a blessing. And I hope we can all agree to say Amen. I think we'll save announcements for after Kaddish.
As we go through the Kaddish list, if you hear the name of someone you've come to remember, please rise and remain standing when you hear the name. In the period of Shloshim, Shirley Cohen, John Mustel, Shirley Burke. And the yard sites for this week, Sheldon Bloom, Florence Chusmere, Harold Ehrlich, Emmanuel Heimberg, Bernice Hirsch, Marjorie Horowitz, Margaret Klein, Karine Kreutzer, Alice Shapiro, Daniel Sterling, Tilly Ginsburg, Judy Gutman, Herman Convasar, Jason Jacobs, Charlene Sikora. And And let us all rise together as I offer the names from Pittsburgh: Joyce Feinberg, Richard Gottfried, Rose Mallinger, Jerry Rabinowitz, Cecile Rosenthal, David Rosenthal, Bernice Simon, Sylvan Simon, Daniel Stein, Melvin Wax, Irving Younger. The Mourner's Cottage is on page 294.
Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, V'alma Divra Chirutei, V'amlich Malchutei, V'chayechon, V'yomechon, U'chayei Dechol Beit Yisrael, B'agala V'zman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah Mevorach Le'olam U'lalmei Almaya. Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh. Tadar V'yit'aleh V'yit'halal Shemei D'Kudusha B'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tush bechata v'nechemata. Damiran b'yalma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav. Hu yatzeh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all humanity. And let us say, Amen.
You may be seated.
Are you going to come up
Announcements.
Excellent.
So tomorrow morning, L'chaim, we have a baby naming. Come for Torah study at 9:15, and Shabbat services, as always, at 10:30.
It seems sort of beautiful that we're going to name a baby here tomorrow morning. It seems it's worthwhile to show up.
Next Shabbat, it's a special Shabbat. Every Shabbat is special. But on Shabbat morning, Torah study will start at 9. Then we'll have a 10 a.m. service, and followed by a luncheon. A wonderful speaker and member, Andrea Rothman, will be speaking about her book. Very interesting on research, scientific research.
The DNA of You and Me is the title of Andrea's new book. So
the following Friday, the 16th, is Shabbat at Home. We have lots of wonderful hosts. The deadline, I believe, is Friday. Sign up if you haven't. It's in one of the many emails you get from us. Just click. We are looking for a few more hosts of families who are comfortable having like religious school age kids in your home, like who will sit for 10 minutes and then go do something else in the next room. So if anyone would, even if it's just for one other family, it'd be wonderful. You can either speak to us clergy or to the wonderful Rosenzweigs, raise your hand, who are doing so much, including this, to make this happen amongst others. So that's a real need.
Also, if you have arranged to be at a house for Shabbat at Home and you haven't signed up officially, it's a good idea to do it anyway, because it helps Judy and Elliot, who are doing so much of the coordinating, making sure everybody is placed properly at an event. So if you already arranged it and you haven't signed up, please do so and indicate where you're going to be. And also just a huge thank you to our greeters, Gary Slobin and Cindy Gold, for taking charge this evening. So thanks to them as well. Anything else?
One last thing I wanted to say is, I don't know how it feels to you to be here. Good. I hope everyone feels like it feels very good to be here. You have no idea what it feels like for us. Your presence, if you slept the whole time, I don't think you did. But literally, I mean, it's kind of cute, but your presence means so much.
You're powerful. That's what I kept thinking.
You fill our hearts in ways that you don't even know, and I don't always like making it about me. I mean, I do always like making it, but really, I hope it's really not about me what I'm saying, but I just can't emphasize enough that how much your presence means, And so thank you for tonight, and maybe recognizing a little bit more how much your presence means tonight. It means a lot, will mean a lot next Shabbat as well. And there happens to be a Shabbat every week. Okay. As I'm approaching 60, I'm just willing to say stuff that I didn't say at 50. That's shocking. I'm so old. I can't even
Shai
believe
wins
it.
the award for our most soulful accompanist, according to.
Shai.
It's
Exactly.
true. Yes. So our bakers. We have what? Sorry. Oh, bottles. Right. So we
Thank you, Dana.
our Wonder Women small group led by Eileen Walk are doing a funky art project, which always turns out well if Eileen Walk is doing it. If you have a bottle of oil that is not glass, but plastic or tin or something, you can bring it to my office. I'm the recycling rabbi. I will take all your junk. Just bring it.
What is it you want? What is it you want?
A bottle that formerly contained some form of oil.
Formerly.
Okay.
It used to contain oil. Is
if
that
it's
what you said?
vaguely cleaned, that's fine. Just no glass. You can bring it to my office, and we'll collect it for a wonderful art project. And we will go downstairs for Kiddush and Motzi. Our bakers are Donna Ganser, Linda Diamond, Sandy Gretsch, Sharon Freeman, Martha Hirsch, Aaron Romero, Roni Pearl, Maria Margoloff, Dana Sabeski, and Debbie Sutton. Let's rise. Remember to take your prayers for voting with you and put your siddurim back. Olam Chesed Yibaneh.
Oh, yeah.
Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yalala, yalala, yalala. 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 I will build this world from love.
I'll build this world from love.
Yalala, yalala, yalala. And you will build this world from love. Yalala, yalala, yalala. And if we build this world from love, yalala, yalala, yalala. Then God will build this world from love. Yalala, yalala, yalala. One more time. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yalala, yalala, yalala. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yalala, yalala, yalala. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yalala, yalala, yalala. Olam Chesed Yibaneh. Yalala, yalala, yalala.
Kiddush and Motzi downstairs. Shabbat Shalom. That was beautiful. It was great, wasn't it? Yeah, it was great.